Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'm going to quickly take a look at Vulcan Forge, PYR. This is a massive request from my community. Thank you, Austin, and everyone else for requesting that I cover this. Obviously, we're going to take a quicker look at Bitcoin first, but I can tell you we're actually in pretty good shape. We don't really need to do too much there. We're right at about 52,000. We're trending very, very close to our previous resistance at 52,300. So just know 52.3 is a major resistance level here for Bitcoin. If we can break above that and close above that on the one-day chart, we'll be looking very, very good for a nice continuation of the upside. And I would say that we'll probably see a lot more signals and just in general, more confidence, less fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market. Okay, just got to get out of this little lower tier, so to speak, right? And just before we jump into PYR, for those who are new to the channel, I love teaching people how to trade. Thank you so much for joining me. My passion is helping people become more financially stable. So hopefully you can learn a thing or two here today if you want more involved, in-depth analysis, etc. I have a trading community, of course, link in the description below for that. New spots available first of the year. And furthermore, I actually have a trading academy that I'm rolling out with next month as well. That'll help kind of go in depth for every single thing you need to learn about being a trader, right? Kind of everything you need to know. So just check that out in your own time. Now, taking a look here at PYR, first things first, we are stuck below a major resistance level. Now, not to say we're stuck below, but that's a Fibonacci retracement level, and we can expect some resistance at 21.3 cents. So you can see the price kind of almost try to come up there and test that here today. And we could, in fact, see that tested again here soon with confidence in Bitcoin increasing. Now, taking a look here, though, we are still in the doghouse, for lack of better terms. We are under 50 in the RSI. It's not a great sign. Basically, just means there's still overall bearish momentum or bearish sentiment, so to speak, not necessarily momentum. I think that momentum is losing actually, and we are seeing that tide shift. So I'd say a big picture, POR has a strong chance to increase effectively very soon. We can see obviously the bears losing complete control there. We have a MACD convergence on the one-day chart about to converge, right? So good stuff there. I like everything I see here so far. Just bear in mind we have a 50-day simple moving average traveling right around 25.75. Kind of the 4-hour, we can see the 50-day simple moving average kind of working as a support level tentatively. We broke through that, of course. It was a previous resistance, and obviously the 200 is trailing behind. So we're in good shape here. Obviously, this is a little while until this happens, but the likelihood of a golden cross is fairly high. We could see that occur by January 4th as a rough estimate. Now, ultimately right now, I like what I see here so far. We're kind of newer off into this trend. We're at about a 7. We do have a potential of just say 8 hours more of continuation of the upside. Being closer to that continuation period, coming up to a major resistance level, I wouldn't say it concerns me, but it might cause a slight delay in increase, or we might see consolidation closer to 21 and then a break to the upside eventually soon. But I do think 21.3 is a very strong likelihood of getting hit here, just based on what I see so far. We're up over 50 on the RSI. That's fantastic. We had a MACD convergence, of course, on the 4-hour just last night at 2100. So what that basically just means, and we'll go ahead and mark that here as well, is the fact that, again, that momentum has shifted. Because not only do we see a potential MACD convergence on the one-day chart, we also see that on the 4-hour that just occurred. Obviously, the 4-hour is going to happen sooner and faster, but the fact that it's coming to fruition on the big picture is also a very good sign because it tells us the macro is more bullish than the micro, right? And in that sense, that's a very, very good thing. That could give us that continuation of the upside after a brief period of consolidation. So all in all, looking very good here for PYR. I like what I see here so far. I don't see anything that's essentially bearish, minus the fact that we're under 50 in the RSI on the one day. But if that MACD converges and we continue to break this resistance plane here of 21.3, then we'll be in good shape to create that as a support level. That would effectively become 50 on the RSI on the one-day chart, and then we'll be in that bullish sentiment, okay? We're almost there on the macro, but the midterm here is kind of telling us that we're already there, and that's a good sign. Now, ultimately, we do want to break this little resistance plane. Obviously, 21.3 and also 2240 is somewhat of a little resistance channel. So we might see some resistance there, of course, the price travels in there. A lot of times you'll see prices that'll travel within that and then kind of get stuck and then break above, right? So we could effectively see the price travel into there, kind of establish 21.3 as a support and continue upwards. That would be fantastic if so. We'll see that here soon. But for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the 1-hour chart and see if the cloud is telling us anything good. This is awesome. Love to see this. So here's a cool thing about the Ichimoku cloud and the MACD convergence, right? So we had a MACD convergence at 2100 last night. We saw that on the chart 4-hour just a moment ago. I marked that here on the chart. You can see this squiggly line here. This yellow line is essentially the actual time in which approximately, again, plus or minus 4 hours, the shift in momentum went from bearish to bullish, right, on the 4 hour, the midterm. So the short term here, the micro, so to speak, or micro-ish, is basically telling us that, hey, we got a price above the cloud, not 2 or 3 hours after we had a MACD convergence in the 4 hour chart. That to me is a double rainbow. And on top of that, we also have this awesome little indication here that we have plenty of room for growth. In other words, the price were to go sideways and leg up again in just say the next 12 to 24 hours, we'll still be free and clear of any price action from the Ichimoku cloud lagging span. That's huge. Ultimately, we're also on top of the conversion line, in other words, the conversion line is above the baseline. It needs to be above to be comfortable. So we've literally got 4 out of 4 possibilities for a good scenario in which we should take a position to the upside. Now, bear this in mind, we are slightly overextended here. We're at a 9 on TD sequential, and we're at a 7 on the 4 hour, okay? So that being said, we're reaching a state of potential exhaustion, not to say it's going to just stop. A lot of times coins like these will continue past 9 and go well into overtime. And that's why there's always a buffer of 4. So if you've ever seen the TD sequential, you'll see it'll count up to a 9. It'll go up to a 4, and then it'll start highlighting colors, right? Or it'll give you like bright neon colors letting you know it's extreme. You have basically 4 hours of continuation, or just say 4 candlesticks worth of continuation, where the price could fluctuate even higher. So with us being at a 9 right now, leading into that resistance, I would speculate we're going to see some consolidation first, which would ultimately be the best, so we can get that continuation on the upside and get a break above and get this nice little ascending pattern forming to come to fruition, essentially, right? Now, we saw it with Gala recently too. That's why we just opened a position based on the simple fact that we have that increase, that's basically, that was a pennant type of pattern, of course, but it broke to the upside, consolidated, and is likely to break again. But it had a same pattern as we're seeing here with PYR, obviously on a different time frame and different spectrum, but big picture, PYR looks like it's ready to take off. It's tried before, but we had a bit of a correction on the 23rd, and that makes sense. But for right now, it's doing very, very well, all things considered, especially what happened with it recently, right? With all the chaos here for PYR. So all in all, good stuff here. Just note that there could be some resistance, but I do think we're going to break to the upside here soon. I would speculate in the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll see somewhere between $21 to $23 based on the simple fact that it's continuing upwards. We just need 21.3 to become a new support level, and then we'll be able to establish that moving forward. If we do see 21.3 kind of establish itself as a support level, it'd be a great place to add to your position, right? Maybe consider dollar cost averaging at that point. And obviously, make sure you set your profit targets accordingly. I would say the next profit target would be somewhere in the range of 27, which is approximately, wow, that's a lot, about 32% roughly from the current price action right now. So I think PYR has a really good tendency of giving a strong return on investment. I think it's likely it's going to continue. We see nothing bearish here except for the fact that we're a bit overextended on the 4 hour and the 1 hour chart. But the 1 day looks like it's ready to take off in the big picture. So I do think that the macro for PYR is excellent, which is ultimately where you want to base your decisions as far as longer term holds, right? So if this is just a very short term day trade, consider adding maybe a tighter stop loss and make sure that you hit specific parameters, wait for that exhaustion to finish, if you will. But if you are, big picture bullish on PYR, which I am at this point based off what I've just seen, I don't think there's any doubt that we're going to see somewhere in the range of, what is it, 31 upwards of 40, I would say in the next month. That's probably pretty realistic. So you could probably get somewhere in the range of 2 to 3x in the near future. And I would venture to guess that, based on what I've seen here so far, we're going to see some really, really good potential from Vulcan Forge in the near future. So all in all, this is quickly becoming one of my new favorite coins as far as what I see here so far. Our community just loves this one as well, and I can totally see why. I haven't looked at this in a little while, and it's really awesome. So I think you're on the right track there. So thanks, Austin, for requesting I cover this and many more. More to come, of course. Thanks again, and if you're new to the channel, once again, really appreciate a like, subscribe if that is something you're considering, and consider joining my community, of course, first of the year when we have spots available. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you soon.